What's up, comic book fans, and welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me, and today we got more Ultimate Universe. This time with Ultimate Black Panther issue 2. Now, the first issue of this series was super dope, and if you guys haven't checked it out yet, I'll place a card at the top of the screen so you can go check that one out and then come right back. I'll also put a link to the playlist at the end of the video. But for everybody else, if you enjoyed the last issue, then you will definitely like this one too, because they've pretty much kept that same energy here. But when we last saw T'Challa, he was saved by his father from an assassination attempt for Moon Knight that ended up costing T'Challa his father. So if you guys are ready to find out how pissed off and ready for war T'Challa handles the death of his father in this new universe, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So we begin this issue about 30 days after the assassination attempt on T'Challa, and his bride, Okoye, speaks with him about the state of the Wakandan people. And as T'Challa tries to explain to her that he will root the rot from their kingdom and end this war, Okoye lets him know that the war isn't exactly what the people are afraid of. They're scared of you, T'Challa. We're searching each other for enemies, putting our people behind bars, conducting interrogations. Our people cannot even grieve your father with our trust. But T'Challa knows that there are servants of their enemies amongst their people, so he's doing what he feels he has to protect Wakanda. Then Okoye tells him that he's acting out of fear right now, a fear that all men fear, that what they are will never be good enough. She also tells him that his burden is great. He must honor his father. He must protect his people and his nation. He must be their king and their night warrior. He is what Wakanda needs. Meanwhile, T'Challa, after he has gotten dressed, he needs to go and speak with the Vadu Khan today, as they have counsel for him. But Okoye warns T'Challa not to trust the Vadu Khan. They only serve their prophecies. They don't serve T'Challa. Do not serve them. And this is interesting because if you remember in issue 1, it was T'Challa telling his father that Wakanda should be free of the Vadu Khan. And now he's keeping counsel with him. So it kind of feels like there might be something suspect here with the Vadu Khan. What do you guys think? But here we transition to the temple of the Vadu Khan. And the sisterhood has received a vision regarding King T'Challa, that a woman of light will come to you. She is around you now, fates intertwined. Between you there is a bond made during war, and she will give you an heir, the heir that Wakanda has awaited for generations. But this confuses T'Challa. He already has a queen in Okoye, and he believes that it will be her to give him an heir. But Matron Amala tells him that Destiny cares little for what we want. Destiny doesn't care about us at all. Then we transition to the outside perimeter of Wakanda, and the Dora Milaje are fighting against Moon Knight soldiers when King T'Challa arrives and shuts this fight down, much to the pleasure of the Dora Milaje. Then we look in on Moon Knight, Khonshu, and Ra, and they are now speaking with their Wakandan asset, and they are definitely not happy because this asset's information has cost them a victory. But the asset's response is, "I've betrayed Wakanda, as I betray them now. Did I not give entrance to your assassin? Did I not place her next to Wakanda's king? And is the king not dead?" But Moon Knight's response is that they've held the continent of Africa in the vacuum of the Maker, with the exception of the sacred Wakanda. And frankly, they're tired of Wakanda's sovereignty. They need information on its weaknesses and vulnerabilities. They need to storm Wakanda and break T'Challa. And the asset agrees, which is why they came to Moon Knight. "I need this war to continue. I am your eyes within Wakanda. I am your sight," says the asset. But a frustrated Khonshu tells the asset to see a path to victory and speak it soon. But the asset isn't under the command of Moon Knight, and lets it be known that Moon Knight doesn't even know who this is. But the asset does agree that it is time for T'Challa's reign to end. Then the asset informs them that there'll be information and a plan sent over to Moon Knight, and they'll need to follow it. But as the asset's call ends, we can see Moon Knight reviewing this with each other, and we find out that they absolutely do not trust this spy. but they do trust that the asset wants Wakanda to fall. Meanwhile, in the war room of Wakanda, T'Challa is with his council, Shuri, Okoye, the Dora Milaje, and the Wakandan spies. And it's here that we find out that Moon Knight has been after the vibranium. They're not taking any prisoners or hostages. They just want this resource. But the vibranium mines are hidden, says Shuri. So the only way they would know where they are is if someone is telling them, chimes in Okoye. So T'Challa tells his team that in this room are the only people that he trusts. With the death of T'Challa's father and the sudden strikes by Moon Knight's forces, he is sure that somebody in Wakanda is helping them. And when Shuri asks why someone would do that, Okoye steps in and lets her know that it's because they are not in this room. And a traitor usually wants more than what a nation has given them. The betrayer will be someone close to them, but not embraced by them. So T'Challa lets her know that they will find this traitor, but also that his spies, Faxel and Anon, have given them an advantage. They believe they know where Khonshu and Ra are. They're hiding their power sources, moving from place to place. But when you can't see evidence of your prey, you can find evidence of their camouflage. And they've noticed that in this particular location, animal migration has changed, and the beasts are avoiding this place. Although it seems to be nothing on the map, it changes the natural world around it, and it has only done this for some days. And this is when T'Challa lets the team know that he will be going alone to check out this place. Now the spies would rather T'Challa let them go instead, but T'Challa tells them that they're needed here. They have a traitor within the walls, and he needs them to keep his family safe. So he tells Faxel to protect his wife, while Anon protects his sister. And if the beasts are frightened by this mysterious place, then tonight, one Panther will not be. So later we see T'Challa heading towards this location, while Shuri monitors him from her command center. And she tells him that she wishes that he didn't go alone, but he reassures her that as long as she's in his ear, then he's not alone. And he also has her technology to be invisible, meaning that he's right now cloaked from their radars in this vessel. Then T'Challa tells Shuri that if they are there, then Shuri can send the Dora Milaje to his position. And she tries to tell T'Challa that they will be on standby. But then Shuri realizes that the signal has been lost, and now she can neither see nor speak with T'Challa. And if I'm being honest, this is when right here, if I'm Shuri, I'm just going ahead and sending the Dora Milaje right now. I mean, the second that signal goes cold. But we can now see that T'Challa's ship has been shot down, and he's now noticed that he can't reach Shuri. And then almost immediately is surrounded by lights. This was a trap, as Moon Knight's forces seem to have known that T'Challa would be there, and they begin to open fire on the Black Panther. And as the Black Panther seems to be vastly overwhelmed, the skies begin to crackle, and lightning comes down, striking the Moon Knight soldiers. And now as T'Challa begins to recover, he looks to the sky, and he sees the woman made of light. A storm now appears before him. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of this issue. So how you guys feeling about this series so far in this issue? And who do you think the spy is in Wakanda for Moon Knight? Now, I could be wrong right now, but I'm kind of leaning towards Okoye as the spy. I mean, if Moon Knight knew that T'Challa was coming for them, then it had to be somebody in that war room that gave the info. Now, it could also be one of T'Challa's spies that gave him this location, but to me it feels like Okoye is always telling T'Challa exactly what he wants to hear. But meanwhile, she doesn't quite feel like she's respected much as the queen, and she doesn't even sleep in the same bed as T'Challa. But again, I could be wrong, but right now, until I see otherwise, my eyes are on Okoye. But man, y'all, seeing Storm save T'Challa was pretty dope. And if they end up hooking up, then that would be fire. I know T'Challa and Storm have had a relationship in the main universe, but to be honest, after the first issue here, I thought this Storm was with Killmonger. So I guess we'll have to wait till next issue to understand their dynamic. But also, back to the Okoye thing. Do you guys think that she warned T'Challa about taking counsel from the Vadu Khan because maybe she's afraid that they'll reveal her treachery to T'Challa? I mean, in last issue, T'Challa's father was just telling him that he needs to take the counsel of the Vadu Khan. But then now in this issue, Okoye is telling him not to trust him? Plus, how many people could have been close enough to allow an assassin to get that close to T'Challa and his father in that last issue? Yeah, I'm sorry. She's my suspect number one. But who are you guys thinking? Regardless, though, I'm really feeling this new Ultimate Universe and these new stories it brings. I'm also dying to see what Khonshu and Ra are capable of. Like, can these dudes fight? It's kind of like those old Bruce Lee movies where it seems like he's innocent and can't fight, but then out of nowhere he starts kicking everybody's ass. I'm wondering if Moon Knight will be something like that. But once again, you guys, I want to hear your thoughts on what you guys are feeling, as well as what you saw that maybe I didn't. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you could do so by joining the new Iconic Fan Club channel membership. And there'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, you'll gain access to weekly interactive live streams with yours truly in front of the camera, where we could talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as stuff that you'd like for me to go over in the future, and other comic book news as well. I've also been giving previews on these live streams of what's to come on this channel. But in addition to that, you guys will also get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and more in these videos. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do these, then you can still be a huge help to the channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out. Peace.